We're off to Greece. After one of the few and well-deserved days at sea, our next stop is Argostoli and the island of Kefalonia.
Argostoli in the rain.
It's a dreary, rainy day, but it's also the day before Easter, and in Greece, that's a big occasion. We started the morning by shopping along the main pedestrian mall in downtown. It's a nice mixture of stores, both catering toward the tourists and the locals. The ringing of the bells soon drew us to one of the Greek Orthodox churches, where we were able to get a quick glimpse inside between services. One of the places we just couldn't pass up was one of the local pastry shops. It had a wonderful variety of local cookies and cakes, and at a very reasonable price. One of the local traditions is on the day before Easter. These large ceramic pots called petides are thrown off your balcony. One of the ideas is that they've collected all the bad spirits throughout the year, and they'll be destroyed along with the pots as they hit the streets below. On our way back to the ship, we see this menu sign at the Miramar Hotel. Not wanting to pass up a $2 ouzo, we stopped in for a drink. Marianne enjoyed 2 ouzos along with a tart cherry juice. I ended up having 3 with a red wine chaser.
Greece, Easter Sunday.
As soon as we get off the bus in Corfu, we hear the sounds of the Easter procession already on its way. Along with the marching band, the procession includes the mummified remains of Saint Spiridon, the patron saint of Corfu, and the patron saint of potters. After the procession, we visited some of the shops, always looking for some Toroni, and I was wondering what the liqueur was they were selling in these provocative bottles.
What is that?
This is the kumquat part.
Oh, you don't like kumquat?
You like some?
Not with sugar on it.
Oh.
I like kumquats without sugar.
That's good. I'll have hers.
Here we were lucky enough just to catch a band just finishing their performance and entering their guild hall. Being in Greece, of course, there's a lot of olives, and this shop here was selling just olive wood. Here we managed to catch the owner just starting a turning. Being at the height of the Easter celebration, the streets were filled with prayers and the ringing of the church bells. Along some of the less traveled streets were the remains of the pots that were thrown off the balconies yesterday. Marianne still has one of the shards as a souvenir.
Donna, Marianne, have them turn around.
This is the Church of St. Speliosia. It dates back to 1577 and contains the mortal remains of St. Theodora of Augusta. She was a Byzantine empress and canonized in the 19th century. Here they're giving respect to the remains, which are open for viewing on Easter Sunday.
Can they go like this?
I thought they were touching their noses yesterday. I
I
didn't
don't
realize.
think I'll do that.
No.
Time for lunch and some refreshments. A local Corfu beer, a Greek salad, and a combination plate that was recommended by the owner. We saw a couple of these places on our trip. It's pedicures by fish nibbling on your feet. As we sail away, we get a view of the coast of Albania and our farewell to Greece. That evening is another formal night celebrating our Easter dinner. That night we travel to the country of Montenegro, sailing through the inland waterways to the small town of Kotor.
Sunrise.
Our destination lies inland, through a series of bays lined with small, picturesque towns. Ahead is Our Lady of the Rocks Church. According to the legend, fishermen saw Mary in the reefs and began the ritual of dropping stones whenever they passed. Eventually a small island was created upon which the church was built. Just beyond the church, you can see the outflow of a large underground river called Sopot. The main portion of this river flows into the bay under the water level, and this waterfall is actually a dry cave through most of the year. This is the wettest place in all of Europe, and it seems like wherever you look, there's an underground spring or stream just coming out right from the side of the mountains. Kotor is a small town, nestled up against the steep mountains. One of the first things you notice are the many fortifications and walls, built right on the cliffs above the city. As we enter through the main gates, we enter onto a large plaza. The city is designed as a maze of small, intricate streets. This was to slow any invaders that got by the impressive walls. Taking refuge from the rain, we stopped for a hot drink, hoping to warm up and dry off a bit. Not letting the rain dampen our plans, Marianne and I take the short bus trip to Parats, one of the small villages we passed on our way in. We had planned to take a short boat ride out to the Our Lady of the Rocks Church, but the weather got the best of that plan. Here's one of the underground streams that just seemed to be coming out of nowhere. After our short walk through town, we waited to catch the bus back to Kotor. Our next day is spent in Dubrovnik, the first of 3 stops in Croatia. Our first sight is the Frane Tučmana Bridge, along with a beautiful but foggy view of the bay. After changing our money into kuna, we boarded our overpriced Holland America shuttles to take us to the old walled city. We are greeted at the bus stop with this animated video sculpture called the Liberation Monument. And just next to it, in contrast, is this fountain depicting Pan and a nymph. Before entering the city, we stop for a photo opportunity and enjoy the wonderful view of the waves.
Oh yeah, we want to be at the town center.
Much of the city was destroyed in an earthquake in 1667, but the walls stayed standing. And again in 1991 and 92, the Serbs bombed much of the city. An impressive feature of the city is its streets paved with marble.
This is the town where they sent me.
This clock tower has an interesting history. It was originally built in 1444, but during the 18th century, the worn mechanism was replaced with these octopus-style hands. One of our first stops is the Dubrovnik Cathedral. It was one of the buildings that was damaged by shelling in 1991. At the top of this large Baroque staircase is the St. Ignatius Church. This Jesuit church was completed in 1725 and contains many frescoes depicting the life of St. Ignatius. We stopped for some quick refreshments, with some wonderful Summersby hard apple cider and a local dark beer, before we head off to the ports and our walk of the wall. Walking the walls is quite a challenge. It's about 1.5 miles all around, but it's the hundreds of steps that really can take your breath away, along with the wonderful view. The walls rise as high as 82 feet, and on the land side can be as thick as 20 feet.
sight to behold, isn't it?
Yeah. Should I do a pull away from here?
There was a house there at one time. At one time. My goodness. I didn't think I'd want to do that.
That looks
No.
like fun.
After our hike, it was time for some lunch, consisting of calamari, seafood risotto, and something they called Dubrovnik chicken style. Marianne and I thought the old pharmacy museum might be interesting. Not so much, but the cloister was worth seeing. After a quick rest in front of the old cistern, we headed back to the ship. Since we weren't leaving till later that evening, Marianne and I went back to see the city at night.